I wasn't trying to impress anyone. All I wanted was to get to work on time, even if it meant driving a beat-up 1999 Toyota Corolla with a missing hubcap and an engine that coughed like a lifelong smoker. It was 6:42 a.m., sun still low, my coffee still too hot to drink, and my car wasn't starting. Again. I was parked on the side of Elmhurst Avenue, halfway between a liquor store and a dry cleaner that hadn't been open since 2009. Not exactly the kind of place where you want it to linger, but when your car sounds like it's dying and smells like something already died inside it, you don't get to choose where it breaks down. I was running late. Of course I was, because that's how these stories always start, right? And then came the cop. I heard the slow, smug crunch of tires over gravel before I saw him. White SUV, county seal on the door. One of those little flags mounted near the antenna like a reminder of who this country is really for. He pulled up alongside me, rolled the window down, leaned out, smiled like someone who thought they were about to deliver the punchline of a joke they told 100 times. You know this isn't a junkyard, right? I forced a tight smile, just having some car trouble. He looked me up and down, the wrinkled Dre shirt, the cheap tie, the smudge of oil on my hands from trying to check the battery. You late for court or for community service? It hit me then, not just the words, but the tone. Like I wasn't supposed to be here, like my skin, my car, my presence was a glitch in the matrix of his perfect little world. I didn't answer, just turned back to the engine and pretended to fiddle with the jumper cables I knew weren't going to do a damn thing. But he didn't leave. He stepped out of the car, boots heavy on the asphalt, walked around the hood. You live around here? Nope. Then what are you doing in this part of town? I stood up slowly, met his eyes. I work 2 blocks over. He raised an eyebrow. At the soup kitchen. That's when I almost lost it. Not because of the insult, but because of how casual it was. Like he wasn't even trying to hide it. Like it wasn't even worth hiding. But I bit it back. I didn't have the luxury of being angry. Not here, not now. Instead, I just said, "No, law office," he snorted. "Uh-huh, and I'm the Chief Justice." Then he laughed, full body, head tilted back, TV cop show laugh. Got in his car and drove off, still chuckling. And that would have been the end of it. A small humiliation, one more story to bury deep, except the next morning he walked into my office. Let me rewind, because this part matters. What he didn't know, what nobody ever suspects, is that I wasn't just an employee at the firm 2 blocks away. I was the firm. Well, half of it. Senior partner at Harrison King, LLP. 10 years of clawing my way through law school, internships, long nights, court battles, just to get here. And now I had my own office, corner window, real leather chair, espresso machine that cost more than that Corolla. That same Corolla that died on Elmhurst yesterday. That same car he laughed at. That same man, now standing in my reception area, looking uncomfortable in a dress uniform. He was here for a disciplinary review. Apparently, Officer Miller had been involved in a use of force complaint 3 months ago, and the union was providing legal counsel. Through us. Guess who drew the case? Me. He didn't recognize me at first. That's the thing about people like him. They don't see us. Not really, just blur us into stereotypes and move on. So when I called his name and extended my hand, he looked confused, shook it like he wasn't sure why I felt familiar. We sat down, opened the file, started talking. I kept it strictly professional. Didn't mention Elmhurst. Didn't mention my car. Just stuck to the facts. Timelines, policy breaches, prior conduct, potential outcomes. But I could feel him getting more and more uncomfortable, sweating in a room that wasn't hot, fidgeting. Then finally, "Tiomtin," he said it. "Sorry, I know this is weird. Have we met before?" I looked up, met his eyes, and said calm as sunrise. "Yesterday, Elmhurst Avenue, you told me I was late for court." The blood drained from his face so fast I thought he might pass out. He stammered, apologized, said it was just a joke, said he didn't mean anything by it. I let him talk, let him bury himself in excuses. Then I told him something I don't usually tell clients. You should be careful who you laugh at, because some of us aren't stuck. We're just waiting. That meeting ended quickly. He left shaken, quieter than when he came in. I don't know what happened with the case. I passed it off to someone else. Too much of a conflict of interest. But I'll tell you what happened to me. I went out that night and bought a new car. Not because I wanted to prove anything, but because that old Corolla had done its job. It got me through 100 humiliations, 1,000 near misses, and now it could rest. Some people think power is about status, about cars and corner offices and titles. But real power is walking into a room and not needing to raise your voice to be heard. It's being underestimated and choosing not to correct them. It's knowing exactly who you are, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. So if you're listening to this right now, driving your own broken down car, wearing secondhand shoes, faking smiles in places that weren't built for you, let me tell you something. Keep going. They're not laughing because you're losing. They're laughing because they see you coming, and it scares the hell out of them.